好高興能夠有機會咧，再同大家嚟分享。
I'm very glad to be able to share with you once again.
先嚟係同大家分享一位老太太嘅故仔。
Firstly, I would like to share a story about an elder in the church.
呢位老太太已經係回流翻香港。
This elder lady has already gone back to Hong Kong.
但係佢早年咧係喺我哋華僑教會嘅裏邊。
But previously, she was here in the Chinese congregation.
喺3年前有機會同佢有一個下午嘅傾偈嘅時間。
And 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to talk to her.
喺呢段對話嘅裏面，佢嚟到去分享到關於佢患上癌病嘅經過。
And during our conversation, she was able to share with us her experience in having cancer.
但係佢同我分享嘅並唔係講到佢患癌病係幾咁嘅痛苦，幾多嘅埋怨。
But what she shared with me was not that how painful it was and how much complaint she has.
佢亦都唔係單單嘅同我講關於佢病情轉好轉壞，於是乎嚟到去求告上帝嘅嘢。
And she wasn't sharing me about how her illness got better or worse, to whether she would pray to God about these things.
佢係乃係同我分享到上帝點樣俾到佢學習嘅一個功課。
But she was actually sharing with me how God has taught her some lessons in these.
患上咗癌病嘅佢係非常之唔方便。
After conceiving cancer, it was very uncomfortable for her.
經常要出入醫院。
She has to go to the hospital often.
又要接受一次又一次嘅電療化療。
And she has to take the chemotherapy once and once again.
佢嘅精神體力都係好疲倦。
And her spirit is getting very tired as well and strength.
每日本身要做嘅嘢都做唔到。
And everything that she do normally in the day she can't do.
生活嘅節奏打亂晒。
And all her rhythm in her life has been disrupted.
連人嘅脾氣都有啲嘅急躁。
Even her temper has changed.
本來人與人之間嘅關係應該係變得更加難以嘅維繫。
Actually, for people, their relationship it becomes harder to maintain.
但係患病嘅經歷卻係俾到佢一個人與人關係嘅醫治。
But during her sickness, she finds that healing in her relationship with others.
呢位嘅老太太一直都係為自己嘅家庭奔波勞碌。
This old elderly lady has to run around for her family all the time.
為咗照顧佢嘅女兒，照顧佢嘅丈夫。
To take care of her daughter and take care of her husband.
患上咗呢個癌病嘅佢。
She conceiving cancer.
俾佢有機會睇到原來佢嘅屋企人都係一樣嘅咁關心佢。
And she find how her family also care for her so much.
原來佢嘅屋企人都係一樣咁願意為佢嚟到付出，嚟到去照顧佢。
Actually, her family were also so willing to help her and to give up things for her.
更加奇妙嘅係佢香港教會嘅弟兄姊妹。
And the more amazing thing is that her brothers and sisters in Hong Kong.
喺佢香港教會裏面有啲弟兄姊妹從來幾年嚟都冇同佢講過一句嘢。
In her church in Hong Kong, where the brothers and sisters had never talked to her in a few years.
但係因為佢患上咗呢個癌病。
But because she had cancer.
呢啲弟兄姊妹走嚟去慰問、去關心佢。
These brothers and sisters came to comfort her and speak to her.
以前佢以為呢啲嘅會友係唔中意佢，所以唔同佢講嘢。
In the past, she thought these brothers and sisters did not like her, so they didn't talk to her.
但係原來呢啲都係一直佢自己嘅偏見嚟。
But actually, this was her own thinking.
實際上係並冇咁嘅事。
And actually, the fact is, it's not the truth.
患癌病的而且確唔好受。
To have cancer is really not a good thing.
但係有兩件嘅事佢好開心。
But there are two things that she was happy about.
第一件就係佢體重。
Firstly, her weight.
瘦晒。
Because she was become thin.
有邊個唔中意瘦？
Who doesn't want to be thin?
第二件事。
And secondly.
唔單止係體重。
Not only her weight.
連佢嘅身量都放輕晒。
Even the kind of weight that is not physical is also loosened up.
乜嘢意思呢？
What does that mean?
以前自己睇別人總係覺得自己高一啲啲。
In the past, when she see others, she always thinks herself as higher.
可能有少少嘅驕傲喺裏邊。
Maybe there's some pride.
但係患上咗呢個病嘅佢冇晒呢啲嘅嘢。
But after having cancer, all this has disappeared.
人與人之間嘅牆嗰啲嘅隔膜都會冇咗。
All the walls that was in between people has
令至到佢更加容易嘅同朋友、同家人、同弟兄姊妹相處。
has been knocked down, and have become easier for her to have a relationship with friends and families.
佢能夠變得更加嘅坦誠去同人接觸。
And she can be more truthful to be able to talk to others.
幾咁感恩呢？
How grateful is this?
有時候上帝要我哋所學習嘅功課。
Sometimes God wants us to learn the lesson.
可能係需要喺經歷一啲睇起上嚟唔愉快嘅事情嘅上面。
It can be seen as those things that doesn't look good and happy to experience those.
咁樣我哋先能夠係體驗得到。
Then we can see and experience it.
冇咗能夠放得低以撒嘅亞伯拉罕。
For Abraham, who had to experience giving up Isaac.
就冇咗能夠睇得見耶和華以勒嘅信心之父。
If you do not have that, then you will not be able to see Jehovah JIREH.
今日早上我哋有機會嚟到一齊再睇呢段經文。
The Father of faith. And today we want to look at this scripture again with you.
讓我哋同亞伯拉罕一齊嘅重新體驗佢點樣嘅獻上以撒。
Let us go with Abraham and to see how he gave up Isaac.
一齊嘅嚟到學習耶和華以勒。
Together to learn about Jehovah JIREH.
第一點好重要嘅。
The first point is very important.
我哋要將我哋自己最重要嘅嘢係帶到去上帝面前。
We have to bring the most precious things of our life before God.
帶到去上帝嘅祭壇前。
Bring before the altar.
喺經文裏面咁樣講。
In the scripture it says.
我哋一齊讀好嘛
Let us read together.
好，22章第2節，預備起。大家知唔知咩係燔祭
Do you know what is burnt offering?
燔祭喺舊約嘅裏面係一種嘅祭，係完全嘅去焚燒。
The burnt offering in the Old Testament is an offering that the whole sacrifice has to be consumed by fire.
將你獻上嘅祭物用火嚟到完全嘅去焚燒。
What you sacrifice has to be completely consumed by fire.
有邊一個能夠做得到
Who can do that?
有邊一個能夠將自己嘅親生仔咁樣嘅嚟到去獻上
Who can take their own son and to offer it like this?
況且我哋知唔知道原來亞伯拉罕係幾咁艱難先至係可以得到以撒嘅
And you also have to take note that how difficult it was for Abraham to have conceived.
我哋一齊嚟睇少少嘅歷史。
Let us look at some history.
我哋睇翻經文，早喺創世記12章嗰度。
In Genesis chapter 12,
佢咁樣話
it says this.
上帝係同亞伯拉罕講話，我要將你成為大國。
And God said to Abraham, I will make you into a great nation.
地上嘅萬族都要因你得福。
And all people on earth will be blessed through you.
亞伯拉罕嘅鄉下係吾珥。
Abraham's hometown is Ur.
而當其時，上帝係呼召亞伯拉罕離開吾珥，去到迦南嘅地方。
And at the time, God called Abraham to leave Uz and to go to Canaan.
喺12章呢一度，佢哋正正嘅去到中間一個叫哈南嘅地方。
In chapter 12, they just got to Haran.
同樣喺第12章嘅裏面繼續講到。
And also in chapter 12, it also says this.
上帝話要賜過俾佢呢啲嘅地。
God said He will give them this land.
俾佢同埋俾佢後裔。
To give him and his descendants.
而亞伯拉罕亦都因為上帝對佢呢咁嘅應許，佢係築咗一座壇嚟到去紀念。
And because God had given Abraham this promise, he built this altar.
當其時亞伯蘭幾多歲啊
At the time, Abraham, how old was he?
75歲。
75.
我哋記住先。
Let us remember that.
經文繼續咁樣講第13章。
And then in Genesis 13, it continues to say this.
上帝咧用咗好多嘅形容詞嚟到形容亞伯拉罕嘅後裔。
God used a lot of description to explain about Abraham's descendants.
上帝話賜過俾亞伯拉罕呢啲嘅地。
And God said He will give to Abraham all this land.
然後跟住你嘅後裔咧，
And then his offspring
就會好似地上面嘅塵沙咁多。
will be like the dust of the earth.
我哋再繼續睇。
And we continue.
第15章呢一度。
And in chapter 15,
上帝繼續用佢好豐富嘅形容嚟到去話俾亞伯拉罕知，你將來嘅後裔係好似天上面嘅星咁多。
and God continued to explain in abundance that his descendants will be like counting the stars.
但係有未啊？
But has it arrived yet?
未有。
It wasn't. It hasn't arrived.
去到第17章，
In chapter 17,
中間經歷咗好多嘢，
in between they experienced a lot of things.
經歷咗4王5王嘅爭戰，
And there was the battle of the 4 kings and 5 kings.
亦都有經歷夏甲嘅嗰個故仔。
And also the Hagar, yeah, and also experienced the story of Hagar.
夏甲嘅故仔係好有趣嘅。
And the story of Hagar is very interesting.
我會喺下一次再同大家嚟到分享。
I will talk to you about it next time.
所以喺呢一度去到第17章嘅時候，
And then from here to the chapter 17,
上帝仍然嘅繼續同亞伯拉罕講話：你嘅後裔將會好多好多。
and God continued to say to Abraham, your descendants will be a lot more and more.
亞伯拉罕佢笑，
And Abraham, he laughed.
喺17章呢一度咁樣話，亞伯拉罕就俯伏在地嬉笑。
And in chapter 17, it says that he fell face down and laughed.
我哋好可以想像得到呢個係一個苦笑嘅。
And we can understand that this is actually laughing with sorrow.
上帝喺過去10幾年嘅時間嘅裏面，賜過俾亞伯拉罕咁多嘅產業、咁多嘅地土。
In the past 10 or 20 years, God has given him so much land and so much inheritance.
但係卻係未有見到佢嘅仔出世。
But he was not able to see the birth of his son.
亞伯拉罕佢喺心裏面嬉笑，
And in Abraham, he laughed.
佢話：我都成100歲，
I'm almost 100 years old.
從邊度生得到孩子呢？
How can I bear a child?
我老婆撒拉都已經90歲，
And my wife Sarah, she's already 90.
仲有乜可能呢？
How can that be possible?
一路嘅去到第21章，
And then when we get to chapter 21,
終於我哋見到以撒出世，
at last we see the birth of Isaac.
唔係喺其他嘅人嘅肚裏面生出嚟，係喺佢太太撒拉嘅肚嗰度生出嚟。
He was not born from other people's womb, but it was born from his wife Sarah.
當其時亞伯拉罕幾多歲啊？
At the time, how old was Abraham?
100歲啦。
He was 100 years old.
由第12章到第21章，
From chapter 12 to 21,
中間經歷咗20幾年嘅時間。
in between this, almost 20 odd years,
亞伯拉罕終於等到上帝呢一個嘅應許。
and Abraham finally received this promise that God has given him.
你會覺得亞伯拉罕有幾咁錫佢呢個仔咧？
You think how he treasured this Isaac.
咁唔係淨係難生嘅先至錫嘅，
It's not because it's difficult to give birth to this Isaac.
係咪？唔係淨係等於20年嘅仔你先錫㗎嘛？
It's not only because he was only waited 20 years, so you love him.
啊，呢個易生啊，呢個獻俾上帝先，下個月再生一個。
This one is easy to give birth to, so next month we'll give birth to another one.
無論難生易生，你都一樣咁錫自己嘅仔。
No matter how easy or difficult to give birth to your child, you still love them.
要將佢獻上唔係一件容易嘅事。
To offer them up is not an easy thing to do.
你點捨得放手？
How are you willing to let go?
我哋好可以嚟到去咁樣去想像。
We can imagine it like this.
如果俾着你係亞伯拉罕嘅時候，
If you were Abraham,
上帝啊，
God,
個仔你俾咗我，
the son you've given it to me,
係我擁有嘅。
and I own it.
雖然係你俾我，
Although you gave him to me,
但係你俾咗就係我㗎啦，
but once you've given it, it's mine.
係我嘅產業嚟㗎，
It's my inheritance.
你唔可以攞翻。
You cannot take it away.
就算係你都冇得傾。
Even if it's you, we can't discuss this.
或者在個當中，你可能會咁樣講：
But maybe among you, you might say this.
好彩我冇仔，
Naturally, I don't have a son.
大概呢啲嘢咧就唔會發生喺我身上嘅。
Maybe these kind of things won't happen to me.
弟兄姊妹，
Brothers and sisters,
以撒唔單止係亞伯拉罕嘅仔咁簡單，
Isaac was not only the son of Abraham.
佢亦都係代表住現今嘅我哋喺我哋生命裏邊嗰啲我哋捉得最緊、唔肯放手嘅嘢。
He also represents in our life nowadays the things that we hold on to so tight that we would not like to let go.
嗰啲我哋睇得好重，嗰啲喺我哋心裏面嗰種嘅執着。
The things we put so much emphasis on that we have are stubborn about.
當我哋要去經歷耶和華以勒嘅時候，
When we have to go and experience Jehovah JIREH.
當我哋要去經歷上帝嘅供應、上帝嘅預備，
When we have to go and experience the providence of God.
往往上帝就會喺嗰啲我哋生命裏面嘅執着嘅上面嚟到去啟動佢嘅工程。
Quite often God will work in our stubbornness to initiate His work.
如果唔係咁樣嘅話，
If it's not like this,
我哋唔會可以好似亞伯拉罕一樣喺之後去發出耶和華以勒咁樣嘅讚嘆。
we could not be like Abraham, who afterwards praise God and say Jehovah JIREH.
亞伯拉罕嘅執着係啲乜嘢？
What is Abraham's stubbornness?
剛才我哋睇12章一路到21章嘅歷史，
When we were looking from chapter 12 to 21, the
亞伯
history.
拉罕嘅太太撒萊，當其時係叫撒萊，
Abraham's wife, Sarah,
佢係唔能夠生 BB。
she was not able to give birth.
所以雖然上帝俾佢咁多嘅財產、咁多嘅地土，
Although God has given him so much land and so much wealth,
但你冇後裔對佢嚟講都係一個遺憾。
but to have no descendants is something that he holds back.
佢會掙扎到底佢嘅家財俾邊個咧？
He will be struggling to think where will his inheritance goes to.
雖然上帝對佢有嘅應許話有 BB，
Although God has promised him that he will have a child,
但等於20幾年都見唔到。
but he waited for 20 odd years and he still hasn't seen it.
你會可想而知亞伯拉罕心裏面嘅焦急。
Do you think how quickly he wants to see this?
弟兄姊妹，我哋今日嘅執着又係啲乜嘢？
Brothers and sisters, what is our stubbornness today?
我哋嘅仔女
Is it our child?
絕對係。
It must be.
有邊個唔執着自己嘅仔女嘅？
Who is not stubborn about their own children?
你生咗佢出嚟就會錫到佢窿㗎啦嘛，係咪？
Once you give them birth to them, you will love them to the end.
你唔會咁容易放手嘅，就算佢話要走，你都唔俾佢。
It wouldn't be so easy for you to let go. Even if they say they want to go, you would not let them.
婚姻，
And maybe marriage.
每個人對自己嘅婚姻關係都有好多嘅憧憬，
Everyone will have some imagination about their marriage.
每個人都想自己嘅婚姻關係美好，
And everyone wants to dream that their marriage will be great.
冇人會想翻到屋企同自己嘅丈夫或者太太係鬧交。
Nobody will want to go home and then be having an argument with their wife or husband.
事業
Or maybe your career.
由讀書嗰陣時開始，已經諗自己畢業嘅時候大概做啲乜嘢。
From studying, you're already thinking about what would you be doing when you grow up.
更何況當我哋冇事業嘅時候，
And of course, at the time when we do not have career,
我哋冇家庭，
we have no family,
我哋都唔可以嚟到去供養自己嘅仔女。
and we cannot supply for our children.
喺10幾年前有一段時間，我自己冇工作做。
In 10 odd years ago, at the time I had no job.
嗰陣時大概係8、9個月嘅時間到。
At the time, there was about 8 or 9 months in time.
當其時正係我哋華僑教會咧，將要去舉辦一個方晚會。
At the time, there was a Chinese church who was preparing an evening evangelistic.
如果大家記得嘅話咧，我哋嗰陣時係諗住拍一套嘅福音短片，
If you can remember, at the time I was preparing this gospel video
係嚟到喺晚會嗰度播放嘅。
to be displayed during the night.
咁樣有6個月嘅時間咧，
There were 6 months.
我就每日都好勤力咁樣咧，去到我哋教會一位弟兄阿 Stanley 喺市中心嘅辦公室嗰度。
I worked very diligently and I went to this brother Stanley's home every day in the city.
我唔係去翻工，
I wasn't going there to work.
我係去借用佢一部超級電腦。
I was going there to use his supercomputer.
當其時係超級電腦
At the time, it was a supercomputer.
嚟到去做剪片，
To do editing
嚟到去寫劇本。
and to write the script.
然後跟住咧，我又用山屋企
Then I went to Asan's house
嚟到去拍外景。
and to take some shots of the outer scenes.
然後跟住咧，我又用Barry 借出嘅一部當其時喺我哋教會裏面唯一一部數碼攝錄機。
And then I used Brother Barry's video camcorder.
弟兄嘅無私嘅奉獻咗俾我嚟到去拍呢一個嘅短片。
And Brother has no self-interest and just lent it to him to record.
我全程嘅投入
I used all my strength in it
嚟到去做呢個製作。
to create this creation.
當其時有弟兄咧係知道我失業嘅情況，
At the time, some brothers knew that I had no job,
佢都好關心，
and they also very cared for me.
咁嚟到去同我去傾偈，
And they talked to me,
係好坦誠嘅關懷。
and they opened themselves up to care for him.
弟兄佢講到
And the brother said,
，Francis， 事業都係好重要，
work is also important.
淨係攞失業救濟，長此落去都唔係辦法。
To just get the benefits for not having a job is not a long-term solution.
更何況作為一個嘅男人，
Especially being a man,
呢個男性嘅尊嚴，
the respect of the man
往往就係建築喺我哋嘅事業基礎嘅上面。
quite often is built on our career.
我非常之多謝呢個弟兄同我嘅分享，
I give thanks to this brother who shared with me.
係好坦白嘅分享。
He opened his heart to me.
但係同一時間我都好清楚，
But at the same time, I also was very clear.
我好清楚我對上帝嘅承諾，
I was clear in my conviction to the Lord.
我要嚟到去完成呢一個事工。
I promised that I have to finish this work.
我唔可以因為一啲我自己嘅個人理由，
I cannot, because of my own personal reason,
又或者啲咩尊嚴唔尊嚴嘅嘢，
or whether I respect or not,
嚟到去將我對上帝嘅承諾擺埋一邊。
to put aside my promises to God.
果然喺豐晚會完成咗之後
And as we see after the meeting and the night,
嘅2個月，
2 months afterwards,
我就揾到我而家所做緊呢一份工作，
and I found a job that I'm working on now,
做咗15年啦。
and I've worked there for 15 years.
CCF 嘅查經事工，
And then the Bible study is CCF.
大家剛才喺報告裏面都知道啦。
Just now in the church news that it was already said.
CCF 原來咧，佢哋嚟到紐西蘭嘅第一站咧，就喺我哋教會嘅裏面。
Actually, for CCF, when they first came to New Zealand, they came to this church.
所以如果弟兄姊妹係可以嘅話咧，係星期2晚可以嚟到恩典堂呢一度，後面咧有佢哋呢個國語嘅查經班。
So, brothers and sisters, if you are able, on Tuesday evening, the CCF will come here to have Bible study.
喺世界各地好多地方都有佢哋嘅查經班。
And around the world, there are many places that have their Bible study.
當 CCF 佢哋剛剛開始呢個事工嘅時候，
When CCF first started this ministry,
係只係一位嘅創辦人同埋幾位嘅組長。
there was only this initiator and a few people.
喺美國嘅一個小鎮嗰度開始。
And it started in a small town in America.
當其時其中一位嘅組長面臨失業。
At the time, there was a Bible study leader who was facing redundancy.
喺佢哋居住嗰個地方，佢冇法子揾到第二份工。
And where he was working, he could not find another job.
但係喺另外嘅一個大城市嗰度咧，就有公司肯請佢。
But in another big city, there was a company who would like to hire him.
當其時 CCF 嘅同工都會覺得啊，呢位弟兄應該要走，
At the time, the CCF colleagues think that this brother has to leave them
因為佢唔係一個單身，
because he's not single.
佢有太太有仔女，
He has wife, he has children,
要養家。
and he has to provide for them.
做組長唔係有錢嘅，冇錢嘅，
Being a Bible study leader, they don't have money.
但係佢哋唔知道原來呢位弟兄佢冇放棄過。
But they did not know that this brother has not given up.
呢位弟兄最後喺附近嘅一個比較遠少少嘅地方揾到一份工，
This brother later on, in the nearby town, he found a work.
人工少啲但係唔緊要。
The pay is less, but it doesn't matter.
每日揸車嘅車程要遠啲但係唔緊要。
Each day the traveling time is longer, but it doesn't matter.
佢只係好想嘅能夠繼續呢一個嘅服侍。
Because he just really wants to continue this ministry.
最後過咗大半年，
And then after more than half a year,
佢終於可以喺佢居住嘅地方再揾翻另一份嘅工。
at last he can find another job that was in his where he lived.
CCF 嘅同工冇一個唔歸榮耀俾上帝。
The co-worker in CCF, none of them all of them were giving praise to God.
弟兄姊妹，當我哋面對一啲睇起上嚟好似好艱難嘅境況嘅時候，
Brothers and sisters, when we are facing a very difficult predicament,
我哋唔好睇輕呢個嘅機會。
we do not want to look like on this opportunity.
呢個可能係有機會俾我哋嚟到去經歷耶和華以勒，
This might be a chance for us to experience Jehovah JIREH,
去經歷上帝供應，去經歷上帝嘅預備。
to experience God providing for us and God preparing for us.
可能今日我哋面對嘅困難好難同人講啊！
Maybe the difficult things we're facing today are very difficult to share with others.
我哋要面對抉擇係牽涉好大嘅犧牲，
What we have to make the decision on and maybe related to big sacrifice.
好難嚟到去取捨。
It's very hard to decide.
其他人根本冇人幫得到自己，
There's no others who are able to help us
因為根本冇人明白我嘅感受，冇人明白我嘅壓力。
because there's no one who will understand my feeling or my pressure I have.
可能你會感覺到孤單，
Maybe you feel very lonely,
但係唔好放棄弟兄姊妹，
but do not give up.
亦都唔好去逃避。
But do not run away from it.
因為喺我哋肉眼所睇唔到嗰啲嘅困難嘅背後，
Because what we cannot see with our eyes, behind that,
上帝嘅恩惠就喺嗰度等緊我哋。
God's grace is there waiting for us.
我哋若果能夠正嘅從困難當中嚟到去走過，
If we can walk right through the difficulties,
我哋就能夠經歷
then
呢
we
樣
can
嘢。
experience this.
但係如果我哋繞路，
But if we go around the corner,
我哋兜過去，
we turn around and go around it,
我哋嘗試去避開，
we try to avoid it.
我哋就連呢一份恩典我哋都避開埋，
Even this grace, we have walked around
我
it.
哋就乜都睇唔到。
Then we can see none of it.
亞伯拉罕佢冇帶住以撒嚟到去走路，
Abraham did not take Isaac and just run away.
佢唔會同以撒講：
He wouldn't have said to Isaac,
哇仔啊，而家唔掂啦，
"Oh, son, it's
我
not,
哋執包袱翻鄉下唔易啦。
it's not good. Let us pack our bag and go back to us."
以撒佢冇，亞伯拉罕佢冇咁樣做，
Abraham did not do that.
佢係正嘅面對呢個困難，
He faced the problem directly.
向住呢個嘅矛盾，向住呢一個嘅疑惑嚟到走埋去。
He went straight towards the dichotomy and he went straight to it.
雖然佢唔知道係咪真係要將自己嘅仔嚟到獻上。
Although he did not know that he really had to sacrifice his son.
雖然佢冇法子知道，冇法子去肯定係咪真係要由佢嘅手嚟到去殺害佢嘅兒子。
Although he did not know whether he has to use his own hands to kill his son.
當然啦，我哋睇呢段經文嘅時候，
Of course, when we read the scripture,
一開始我哋就見到上帝話係要去試驗亞伯拉罕。
from the very beginning, we see that God is saying that He had to test Abraham.
呢個係上帝對亞伯拉罕一個考驗嚟。
This is a test from God to Abraham.
然後跟住不出10節嘅經文，
And then, not less than 10 scriptures,
我哋已經好快睇到結局。
10 verses, we see the results.
幾好啊！大團圓結局，
How great it is! A great, good,
冇嘢要擔心啊，冇人死。
good ending. Nobody died.
但係如果你將你自己擺喺亞伯拉罕身上面，
But if you put yourself in Abraham's shoes,
你會發覺並唔係咁簡單嘅一件事嚟。
and you will find that it's not so easy.
由亞伯拉罕同以撒佢哋住嘅地方，去到呢個摩利亞山要幾耐嘅路程？
From where Abraham and Isaac was living to go to the Moriah hill, how long would it take?
大概2到3日嘅時間。
It takes actually 2 or 3 days.
嗰2到3日嘅裏面，我好相信
Those 2 or 3 days, I believe strongly,
係亞伯拉罕一生人嘅裏面最痛苦、最孤單嘅嗰3日。
it was the most difficult and painful time for Abraham.
第一件事，我哋要將自己最重要嘅帶到上帝面前。
The first thing is that we have to bring forward to God the most precious thing of our life.
剛才我哋睇到
Just now we saw,
帶到上帝嘅祭壇面前，
before the altar of God,
並且嘅嚟到要去將自己最重要嘅放喺嗰個祭壇上面。
and also for us to lay it down before God on the altar.
我相信冇人能夠去體會亞伯拉罕當其時嘅心情到底係點樣。
I'm sure that none of us could be able to understand how Abraham
或
felt.
者在座當中為人父母嘅，你稍為係可以去明白嗰種切膚之痛。
Maybe for those who are parents, then you will know how painful that was.
有邊個甘願嘅嚟到去將自己親生仔嘅性命嚟到去犧牲？
Who would be willing to harm or kill their own child?
從我哋頭先所讀嘅幾節經文裏面，我哋可以揣摩一下亞伯拉罕當其時嘅心情。
As a sacrifice. And from the scripture we've just read, that we can try to experience it and understand how Abraham felt.
我哋一齊嚟讀下好唔好啊？
Let us read together.
創世記22章由第3節開始，準備。
Genesis 22.
亞伯拉罕清早起來，去上路，帶着2個僕人和他兒子以撒，也劈好了燔祭的柴，就起身往神所指示他的地方去了。亞伯拉罕係有準備。
Abraham was prepared.
燔祭係需要有焚燒嘅柴，係咪？
Burnt offering, you need wood.
所以亞伯拉罕係已經劈好、預備好嗰啲將要燒佢個仔嗰啲嘅柴。
So Abraham had already cut all the wood enough for the burnt offering.
亞伯拉罕唔係好 hea 咁樣去到一笪地方，然後跟住哇上帝冇柴啊，唔好意思，我哋翻屋企。
Abraham was not lazy. He just went there and said, "Oh God, there's no wood. We'll just go home."
佢雖然係矛盾，
Although he had a dichotomy,
但係佢係預備咗。
but he prepared.
我哋繼續讀。
We'll continue.
到了第3日，亞伯拉罕舉目遠遠的看見那地方。亞伯拉罕對他的僕人說：你們和我在此等候，我要童子往那裏去拜一拜，就回到你們這裏來。到底亞伯拉罕佢係咪真係知道佢自己對僕人所講呢番説話係會實踐嘅咧？
Does Abraham actually knows that this will actually happen as he said to his servants?
當然，我哋熟悉聖經嘅
For us who know the Bible,
喺新約希伯來書嘅裏面，
in the New Testament in Hebrews,
希伯來書嘅作者透露咗一啲嘅嘢俾我哋知。
the writer of Hebrews reveals something to us.
佢話亞伯拉罕佢10年只係相信，縱使佢嘅仔真係會死去，
Abraham, although he believed that his son will die,
但係上帝都可以令到佢復活。
but God is able to raise him back to life.
但係咪嗰日就復活咧？
But is it on that day?
同埋最根本嘅問題
And the most basic, the call,
係咪真係要我做父親嘅親手嘅 嚟到將佢獻上。
The core question is, would you ask the father to sacrifice the son by his own hands?
第6節，
And then in verse 6,
亞伯拉罕把燔祭的柴放在他兒子以撒身上，自己手裏拿着火與刀，於是二人同行。以撒有幾大啊？
how old was Isaac then?
好多時我讀呢段經文嘅時候，都係諗以撒係一個娃娃叫嘅一個 BB。
Many times when we read the scripture, we think Isaac is only a crying baby.
但係其實以撒已經係一個能夠孭得起嘢嘅小朋友。
Actually, Isaac was old enough to be able to carry things.
點殺得落手啊？
How can he lay his hand on him?
我哋再繼續睇第7節。
And we continue to see verse 7.
以撒對他父親亞伯拉罕說：父親啊！亞伯拉罕說：我在這裏。以撒說：請看，火與柴都有了，但燔祭的羊羔在哪裏呢？佢唔單止係一個能夠孭柴嘅小朋友。
Not only was Isaac able to carry the wood,
佢仲識得觀察到身邊嘅嘢到底係發生緊啲咩事。
he was able to observe and know what was happening.
試問作為一個父親嘅，可以點樣去答佢個仔問嘅呢條問題？
Now asking about fathers, how could they face this question that was asked by their own son?
最後亞伯拉罕說：我兒，神必自己預備作燔祭的羊羔，於是二人同行。
And finally Abraham answered, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together.
我好相信亞伯拉罕講呢番説話嘅時候，眼淚都將要係流出嚟。
I truly believe that when Abraham said these words, his tears was about to come out.
從呢幾節經文裏面，我哋可以睇到亞伯拉罕係幾咁嘅猶豫。
From these few scriptures, we can see how of a confliction he has.
佢有足夠嘅理由嚟到去掙扎。
He has enough reason to have confliction.
佢有足夠嘅理由嚟到拒絕。
And have enough reason to reject this.
呢3日嘅路一啲都唔容易走。
These 3 days were difficult for him to walk.
亞伯拉罕好想上帝早啲話俾佢聽，到底你想點？
Abraham really wished that God would told him what would happen.
佢好想知道到底上帝係咪另有安排咧？
He really wanted to know if God had another plan.
係咪呢3日嘅路你有另一個目的咧？
Is it in these 3 days you have another purpose?
如果係有嘅話，可唔可以快啲同我講？
If there was, then couldn't you tell me
我
earlier?
等唔到啦！
I can't wait anymore.
我哋做學生考試讀書，
For us being students,
我哋放榜啦，
we have to take the exam and we
仲有
wait
2個禮拜，
for the exam.
仲有1個禮拜，
Result 2
哇！聽日就係啦，
1 week. Oh, tomorrow it is.
好緊張，
And we're very nervous.
食唔安瞓唔落，
We cannot eat, we cannot
朋
sleep.
友約街去玩都提唔起勁。
Even your friends invite you to go out and play, you can't have the spirit.
即將要為人父親嘅丈夫，
For a person who is about to be a father,
知道自己嘅太太同埋肚裏面嘅 BB 喺產房裏邊，
know that their wife and their baby is about to be birthed.
佢自己喺產房外邊嘅時候幾咁緊張。
And waiting outside is how nervous that.
嗰幾個鐘頭企又唔係，坐又唔係，
Those few hours, you cannot stand, cannot sit.
好擔心母子係咪會平安。
And so worried about the wife and the child, would they be safe?
亞伯拉罕嗰3日嘅路，
And those 3 days for Abraham,
絕對比剛才呢啲嘅例子係嚟得更加嚴重。
with those experiences are given, is much more severe.
亞伯拉罕佢好想同上帝講：你可唔可以快啲話俾我聽個結果到底係點樣？
Abraham would like to say to God, would you please tell me earlier,
你嘅安排到底係想點？
what is your plan?
會唔會有另一個結果，有另一條嘅出路？
Is there going to be another result, another way out?
但係倘若如果我真係要獻上我嘅仔嘅話，
But if I really have to sacrifice my son,
我寧願呢一世我都行唔完呢3日嘅路。
I wish that I would not be able to, I don't have to finish this walk in these 3 days.
我哋今日會唔會有一啲嘅困境，
Today, would you have some difficulties
都令至到我哋非常之煩惱，
that make you that burden you very much,
令至到我哋進退兩難，
so that you cannot go forward or backwards,
令至到我哋好難嚟到去取捨。
so you don't know how to decide.
我係咪真係要將我生命裏面最愛嘅嘢嚟到放低？
Do I have to really give up the things that's most precious to me?
係咪要真係將我心裏面嗰個以撒嚟到去放低？
Do I really have to give up that Isaac in my heart?
我做唔到，
I cannot do it.
我決定唔到，
I cannot decide.
我根本唔想決定。
I don't want to decide.
有冇人可以幫我？
Is there someone to help me?
聽唔到有聲音幫你。
You cannot hear a voice telling me.
就算你再大聲啲嚟到話，到底有冇人可以去幫我？
Even if you shout louder, is there anyone to help me?
你都唔會聽到有其他嘅聲音。
You cannot hear other voices.
因為呢3日嘅路係要我哋自己去走。
Because these 3 days is for us to walk alone.
亞伯拉罕嗰2個同行嘅嗰個僕人幫唔幫到佢？
The servant of Abraham, was he able to help Abraham?
嗰啲嘅僕人幫唔到佢。
Those servants would not be able to help him.
以利以謝幫唔幫到佢？
Elisha, would he be able to help him?
知唔知邊個以利以謝？
You know who is Elisha?
係亞伯拉罕一個忠心嘅管家，亦都係佢好朋友。
He's a faithful servant of Abraham.
如果佢冇仔嘅話，佢啲家財應該都會係留俾呢個以利以謝。
If he had no child, his inheritance would go all to Elisha.
以利以謝都幫唔到佢。
Elisha would not be able to help him.
佢太太撒拉幫唔到佢。
Would his wife Sarah be able to help him?
幫唔到。
No.
大概亞伯拉罕分分鐘連同撒拉講佢做啲乜嘢都冇講過。
It's probably that Abraham wouldn't have told Sarah.
唔通佢要同自己太太講：我而家拎個仔去獻祭。
Would he have told his wife, I'm going to take the son and sacrifice
撒
him?
拉一定唔俾，
Sarah would not have allowed him.
講都冇得講。
He wouldn't have been able to say it.
佢太太都幫唔到。
His wife was not able to help him.
呢條嘅路，呢個擔子係亞伯拉罕自己一個嚟到佢走過。
This path, this burden, this experience is for Abraham to do alone.
因為呢個功課係上帝俾過亞伯拉罕。
Because the lesson is given to Abraham by God.
呢個功課係上帝俾我哋在座當中每一個。
And this lesson is what God has given to each one of us here.
我哋都要嚟到去經歷，去放低以撒嘅呢一個路。
We also have to experience this road of giving up Isaac.
並且係要將你自己心中嘅以撒帶住上路。
And also to take with you this Isaac in your heart on the way.
而唔係其他嘅人。
And not other things.
亞伯拉罕就伸手拿刀要殺他的兒子。
Then he reached out his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
大家覺得亞伯拉罕可唔可以扮嘢？
Do you think Abraham could pretend?
佢可唔可以同個仔講？
Can he say to the son,
一陣間老豆拎起把刀嘅時候，
when later on when the dad picked up the knife,
你要扮得驚啲，
you have to pretend you're really fearful.
嗌得大聲啲，上帝就聽到。
If you shout louder, then
因
God
為
will
佢
hear
就
it.
會叫我停手。
Then God will tell me to stop.
上帝唔能夠被欺騙。
God cannot be deceived.
當亞伯拉罕拎起把刀，將要嚟到去殺害佢仔嘅時候，
When Abraham picked up the knife about to slay his son,
佢的而且確嘅係決定咗係嚟到要將佢仔獻上，
he has decided that he had to offer his son,
充滿咗哀傷，
full of sorrow,
但係亦都係毫無嘅保留。
but he did not hold himself back.
我哋要走嘅路越係矛盾，
The more difficult and dichotomy in our path,
我哋要放低嘅嘢越難放低，
the things that we most difficult for us to let go,
我哋要執着嘅嘢越係執着，
the things that we're so stubborn about, we will continue to stubborn.
就越能夠嚟到去讓我哋去經歷耶和華以勒，
Then it is more and more that allows us to experience the providence of God.
就越能夠俾我哋體會上帝供應上帝嘅預備。
And continue to allow us to see what God provides for us and what God prepared for us.
上帝今日同樣嘅對我哋每一個發出呢個問題：
Today, God is giving this question to each one of us, saying,
你願唔願意將你生命裏面最寶貴嘅嘢嚟到去交俾我？
are you willing to give up what is most precious to you to give it to me?
你願唔願意將你生命嘅裏面最重要嗰啲嘅嘢俾我嚟到去掌管？
Are you willing to give what is most precious in your life for me to take control of it?
然後跟住由我上帝嚟到去幫你決定。
And then allow me, God, to help you decide.
弟兄姊妹，請問一個問題：
Brothers and sisters, I want to ask you this question.
經過咗摩利亞山嘅以撒，仲係咪同一個嘅以撒咧？
For the Isaac who's just been to Moriah, and is he still the same Isaac?
有冇人有體會？
Anyone have enlightened?
同一個以撒，定係話唔係同一個嘅以撒？
Is it the same Isaac or a different Isaac?
又可以係同，又可以係唔同。
It can be the same, it can be not the same.
以撒都係同一個以撒，
Isaac is still the same Isaac.
冇變過。
He hasn't changed.
但係對亞伯拉罕嚟講，
But for Abraham,
呢個唔係以前嘅以撒，
this is not the Isaac that was before.
呢個唔係屬於亞伯拉罕嘅以撒，
This is not an Isaac, Isaac who belongs to Abraham.
呢個係上帝嘅供應，
This is God provides.
呢個係上帝嘅預備，
This is God prepared.
呢個係耶和華以勒，
This is Jehovah JIREH.
呢個係屬於上帝嘅以撒嚟。
This is Isaac who belongs to God.
我哋嘗試問一問我哋自己：
We can ask ourselves this question.
喺我哋生命裏面有冇需要經過摩利亞山祭壇嘅儀式
In our life, do we have to go to this sacrifice and experience this experience in Moriah?
當我哋生命裏面有冇啲嘅執着
In our life, is there something that we're stubborn about
係需要被上帝去提醒，
and that we have to be reminded by God
係需要放到喺上帝嘅祭壇面前？
and that we have to offer and lay it before the altar of God?
弟兄姊妹，讓我哋嚟練我哋嘅屬靈生命，讓耶和華以勒成為我哋一個功課。
Brothers and sisters, may the year ahead that the lesson of Jehovah JIREH be a lesson to us.
呢個應該係一個非常之刺激嘅旅程。
This is a very exciting experience.
佢會話係啊，好刺激。
They say yes, very exciting.
我要好似亞伯拉罕咁樣獻上喎，
I will have to lay down like Abraham has,
獻上自己嘅仔喎，
to offer up my son,
獻上自己最重要嘅嘢喎，
to offer up what is most important to me.
好困難喎。
It's very difficult.
雖然話上帝會預備啫，
You say yes, God will provide,
但係都好驚㗎嘛。
but it's still fearful.
弟兄姊妹，我哋唔好忽略一樣嘅嘢。
Brothers and sisters, we do not want to look like the others.
當日上帝預備俾亞伯拉罕嘅，
What God has prepared for Abraham,
當日上帝所供應俾亞伯拉罕嘅，
on that day, what God has provided for him,
亦都係同樣嘅已經喺我哋今日身上面嚟到去得到，嚟到去供應。
it is the same for us that today we have already received.
喺歷史嘅裏面，
In the history,
有邊一個係結果願意將自己嘅獨生兒子嚟到犧牲，嚟到為我哋獻上啊？
who was the one who was willing to give up his own son for us?
邊個啊？
Who was it?
耶穌基督。
Jesus Christ.
上帝將佢自己嘅獨生兒子係獻過俾我哋，
God has given his one and only son for us,
以至到我哋今日能夠得拯救。
so that we can be saved today.
昔日對亞伯拉罕嘅供應，
In the past, he provided for Abraham.
今日已經喺釘十字架嘅耶穌身上面成就。
Today, it is accomplished in the Jesus Christ who is nailed on the cross.
昔日嗰隻代替以撒嘅羔羊，
In the past, where the lamb was replacement for Isaac,
就係為我哋犧牲嘅耶穌基督。
it is the one who sacrificed himself for us.
今日在座當中嘅我哋，
Today, all of us sit here.
我哋喺主裏面嘅我哋每一個，
All of us are in the Lord.
我哋已經喺佢兒子嘅身上面得到呢一份嘅恩典。
We have already received this grace that comes from his son.
我哋唯一要做嘅
What we must do
就係我哋要去走我哋自己每一個呢3日嘅路，
is for us to all walk these 3 days for ourselves.
將我哋帶同我哋自己心中嘅以撒
So that we can bring ourselves and the Isaac that is in our heart
嚟到去上演呢一幕，
to complete this scene
嚟到去話俾上帝知道，
and to say to God,
我今日係願意嘅，係嚟到去獻上。
today I'm willing to give it up.
我今日將我生命裏面最寶貴嘅嘢嚟到去交俾你，
Today I give my most precious things in my life, sacrifice it to you.
由你幫我去揸主意，
May you decide for me.
由你幫我嚟到去決定。
May you take hold and decide for me.
我知道我可以做得到，
I know that I can do it
因為你嘅供應，
because you provide,
你嘅預備，
you prepare.
耶和華以勒
God, Jehovah JIREH
已經喺我嘅身上面嘅成就。
already accomplished it in my life.
我有一個祈禱，
Let us bow and pray.
呢個係感謝你，
Dear Heavenly Father, we give thanks to you
因為你嘅獨生兒子，
because of your one and only Son.
我哋今日被拯救，
We have been saved.
我哋今日唔再係受掣肘，
We have not been bonded
我
anymore,
哋係得自由，
and we have freedom.
我哋能夠擺脫我哋生命裏面種種嘅執着，
We can shake off all our stubbornness in our life.
我哋能夠坦然無懼嚟到主你面前，
We can come fearlessly before
因為
you
主你已經係我一切。
because you are our all.
天父係感謝你，
Dear Heavenly Father, we give thanks.
讓我哋一齊嘅學習，
Let us all learn together.
係咁樣祈禱，奉主耶穌基督嘅名。
Pray all this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
放下以撒嘅呢個題目，
To lay down Isaac,
我將會繼續同大家分享。
I will continue to share with you.
仲有好多嘅故仔喺亞伯拉罕之前發生。
There are many more stories that happened before
我希望喺
Abraham.
12月同埋喺出年2月嘅講章裏面再同大家嚟到去分享。
I wish that in December or maybe in February next year, I'll be able to share with you these other stories.
多謝大家。